conversation and share our views for you to get to know us. I think everybody who's sitting at this table is running for mayor of Annapolis because they love this city. I don't think there's any question about that. I think there are a couple of things that separate me from the other candidates, and I'd like to share my thoughts about that with you.
What's your name?
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm Trudy McFall. Where was I?
Share what separates you.
Yes,
Share the
thank you, thank you. There's two things, experience and change, and I want to discuss, if I might, with you, each of those with you. Let me start by telling you about my experience. I have 35 years of executive management experience in government and in business. I ran a regional agency in Minnesota. I ran a federal office in Washington, D.C. And 28 years ago, Governor Harry Hughes hired me to come to Maryland to run what is one of the larger agencies in Maryland, the Housing Finance Agency. That agency administers about $500 million, that's a billion with a B, $500 million a year to the state of Maryland. I stayed there 13 years. Now, I worked for two governors. I was an appointee of the governor. And I lasted in that job longer than anyone before or since. It is a very challenging job in which you learn a great deal about how to administer effectively and how to bring people together. At my last year in that job, I was named the Outstanding Administrator, State Administrator for the state of Maryland. Next, I really wanted to bring my passion for serving people to a more direct level, and I founded Homes for America. Homes for America is a nonprofit development entity. We're headquartered here in Annapolis, and we've developed several hundred units here in Annapolis, but we work in the mid-Atlantic states. And in the 15 years that I have led that organization, we are now one of the largest owners and developers of affordable housing in the country. This combination of executive management in government, sort of starting and grappling with the tough realities of running and managing a business, I think is a really ideal background for serving as mayor of Annapolis. The second thing I'd like to talk about for a moment is change. I'm sure all of these candidates and candidates from other parties, I think everyone this year will be talking about change. I think the voters want change, and we're going to have change. So change will be on our tongues. What I would like you to understand about me is that I have been active not just in talking about change, but leading for change. I have almost 3 decades of having lived in Annapolis and worked on a huge variety of both charitable and civic organizations in Annapolis. And some of it has been pretty tough stuff. I've tackled some of the toughest, hottest topics in this town, and I've stuck out my neck, and I have led and I have participated. A few years back, in recognition of this, I was named Anne Arundel County's Outstanding Volunteer for the Year. I'd like to use the rest of my time to talk to you for a few minutes about the issues that I care about and the ones that I also have been very active in. I suspect these are also some issues we'll come back to in the question and answer period. City manager, I believe passionately that one of the great problems that the city has is that we do not have professional administrative direction of the city staff. And that so many of our problems stem from the failure to have that kind of administrative professional management. I have supported the city manager. I have participated in all the meetings, helped to craft both the bills that the council considered and are being considered by the voters in the referendum petition. I have been very active in the budget process. Painful as it is, I have been to every city council and I or Dennis Conti have been to virtually every work session of the council on the budget. I understand what we have done with the budget this year, and it is a great concern. We are living beyond our means, and yet we are still not funding all of the essential services this year in the budget that we need to fund. But growth and development, I have been concerned about the comprehensive plan. I have spoken out vigorously on the scale and density in the comprehensive plan. As many of you know, I worked for 5 years as commissioner, the volunteer of the Public Housing Board of Commissioners. I'm very proud of the legacy that we have started to turn public housing from the relic of publicly owned and managed to privately owned. Thank you very much.